No one is. Oh, there we go. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Shred Show. I can't tell you, there are some people in my life that I truly consider not only friends, but mentors and leaders. And Ken Perry has been one of those people to me who has continually guided me, given me direction, so much expertise and knowledge. And he continues to give all of you and our entire industry so much knowledge through the Knowledge Coop. And what we're about to discuss today is going to blow your minds because we've heard it over and over, AI, AI, AI. Well, let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, what the Coop is working on right now is going to simplify. It's going to streamline. In my words yesterday, it's going to revolutionize the industry. And they're doing it in a big way. And I cannot wait to share what they are working on with you. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? It is time to shred.
Dude.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My mic is muted. Now it's not muted. Now we're back. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. As I mentioned, I cannot tell you how stoked I am to be shredding with my good friend, Ken Perry. But not only my good friend, he is the founder of the Knowledge Coop. They continue to do so many incredible things, and AI is just one of the many things that they do to benefit and help keep our industry compliant and keep us communicating through the Coop. So there's a lot that we could get into, but today our conversation is going to be around the AI factor. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Ken Perry.
Dude, your intros are the best intros in the entire business, man. And by the way, I call you probably the same amount of times as you call me for advice. I call you for advice. So there's just certain things that happen that I'm like, dude, I gotta call Josh. Like you're always that guy for me who can like talk some sense into me. So I appreciate you, man.
Well, the feelings are mutual, and the respect and admiration I have for you and for your team and what you're working on is it's inspiring to me, Ken. So I'm grateful for our friendship and the opportunity we have to collaborate and work together. But our conversation today, man, I'm so excited to dive into it. Before we do, I know you've been on the show before, but for those, we always have new people tuning into the show. We have new people frequently who are new viewers, who are new community members. Those who may not know Ken Perry, maybe they don't know your background. You've been doing this. You're one of the industry veterans. You're one of the pros. You've been around. You've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's why you continue to revolutionize it and change it and give us so many valuable tools for it. But for those who don't know Ken Perry and kind of how you got your start, just share a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, dude. It's 21 years ago I started this company. So I got in the business 26 years ago, and 21 years ago is when I realized the company or the industry needed training. And I looked around and I saw so many loan officers that didn't have all the tools to be successful. They didn't know what they were doing. They were just trying to, they got hired, they got set at a table and they're like, hey, go talk to some people and see if you can figure this out. And I didn't want that to happen anymore. So I started in 2003. I quit my job as an account executive for a lender, and I started doing training, and I've been doing that ever since full time. I've got a team of 30 people that supports our group here. That is everything from the technology side to the training side to building out as much as we build. We've got 3 full studios in this office. We shoot a ton of video. I was actually just watching videos I shot in 2012. Oh. So we've been doing videos since 2010, but the ones I could find, there's a lot from 2012 that I'm like, dude, I was first of all young, but second, really bad at video. So it's been a lot of years of, people who say, I just can't do video. I'm not very good at it. I sucked at it. Like there's evidence of me sucking at video. You can go find it. It's not that hard to look up. But yeah, so 21 years of that. We've been a technology company for 12 years. So 2012, wow. We launched our platform to help the industry with we are the intranet of a lot of mortgage companies. When they go in the morning to log into their system, we are their system. They use us to communicate, to collaborate, to deliver training, and then we deliver a ton of content that they can use inside of their platform, which is our platform.
Dude, you guys have by far and away so many people when they think of the Coop, they think of CE. But like you said, there's so much that goes beyond that. And that's what we're going to be talking about. But by far and away, being a licensed originator, it's by far the most valuable CE. You give us the knowledge, you give us the things that we need, along with making it entertaining. Dude, I remember seeing some of those first videos of you, and like, you guys have come a long way. Let's just put it that way. And that's what we tell everybody. You got to start somewhere. You're going to get better with time. You just got to get out there and make it happen. You also mentioned being the intranet of so many of these companies, being able to communicate, which is huge. We always talk about communication with our consumers, but being able to communicate as a company, having that culture, being able to have discussions and share ideas, share thoughts, assisting one another all the time. And you guys have even taken that to the next level, because one of the biggest levels of communication is with underwriters, is with like guidelines, restrictions. And as mortgage professionals, that is one of the critical elements of being successful. And sometimes, dude, you and I have both been in the industry for a long time. We remember the days when we're like, well, guidelines, like we have to call an underwriter. We have to go look this up on Fannie Mae. We have to look this up. And it was a cluster, bro, like just chaos. And honestly, it was, if you found the right answer, sometimes it was even questionable. Like, well, is that still current? Is that really what it is? So we never really knew. What your team is putting out, what you guys are dropping right now, bro, has simplified that. Literally is making it like, hey, I can use AI to make sure I'm getting the best answers, the best responses when it comes to guidelines, when it comes to compliance and things like that. So Ken, you got to share what you guys are working on, because this AI tool is amazing.
Yeah, well, so the Knowledge Cube, this is like right up our alley, right? So Knowledge Cube has been a scenario desk for our companies. So if an enterprise has the Knowledge Cube, any loan officer can log in and ask a question, and an underwriter would answer it right inside of our system. The problem is, so many loan officers they're busy right now. They're stressed out right now. They've got a lot going on. They're trying to build that business up again. And so they don't want to go do the research it takes. And it's easier just to float a question out and get an answer. The problem with that is underwriters now have their time wasted on some very basic questions that they're answering over and over. So we were already solving for that as best we could. And what AI did is gave us the ability to solve for that even better. So now what we're doing is just pumping AI through our system. So we've taken what OpenAI did, and then we've modified it and basically only trained it on those guidelines that are the most recent guidelines. So instead of clicking, let's say you have an income question, instead of going Fannie Mae, income, self-employed borrower, documentation in any other system, all you're doing is you're saying, hey, Coop, I have a borrower that's self-employed. They have an S corporation. What kind of documentation do I need to be able to get this through Fannie Mae? And then it's just going to give you that response, and you can keep going back and forth with it until you get the full thing. So, okay, well, that's really cool, but what if it's this? What if it's that? You're having a conversation with our platform, giving you the answers based on just what exists right now. And so what OpenAI or what ChatGPT has done is great, right? Except ChatGPT is trained on the whole internet. And so we had to take it out, put AI in a room, and just feed it what it needs to know. And so this is step one for us with AI, is just rolling out the guides. So we have Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, and VA. And the amount of time we're saving people already and the amount of deals we're saving already is ridiculous. Because if you think about how long, first of all, I don't like to go do a bunch of steps. Like my ADHD doesn't let me do that. It's just like, give me just something easy, please. And so I've always built platforms for people like me. And so you don't want to sit there and do all those things. So yeah, we've made it basically just incredibly easy so that people can go, my underwriter's saying this, but I don't love the answer. They could jump in and be like, hey, with Fannie Mae, I thought it was this. Isn't it this? Our AI comes back and goes, yeah, actually that is it. Here's the guideline. So we not only answer the question, we show you the section of the guides that is found in. And then you reply and go, sweet, can you please write a letter to my underwriter that explains this? And it's like, yeah, I'll write that letter. And then it writes an email to your underwriter that you can then just copy paste, dial it in for how you want to communicate, and send. So you're not arguing with the underwriter, you're simply presenting facts, and our AI helps you do that by not just answering the question, but giving you that extra piece. So
okay. Yeah. There's so many of this I want to break down, but that element that you just said right there, we've all been there. If you're an originator, you've had a discussion. We're going to call it a discussion to be respectful. We've had arguments with underwriters in the past where it's like, no, this is the guy. Like, here it is. Like, show it to me. Now, this is, again, when I said revolutionizing, it really is starting to simplify and revolutionize how we communicate even with underwriters, making sure, and it's helping them get better. Your guys' system is literally going to be like, oh, 100%, this is where it is. And again, we love our underwriters. They do an incredible job on the back end. But again, if we can simplify this process for everyone involved and find the guidelines, here it is. This is exactly what it is. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I have to say this. You and I both know with our ADHD, we have the worst squirrel mentality in the world. I wish I could turn my camera around. I'm in my RV and there are two squirrels fighting outside my window. And I am literally like, talk about the worst squirrel mentality in the world. That makes it so funny. Anyway, you said something I want to make sure people. Literal squirrels fighting out on my patio right now, and it's just hilarious to watch this. I'm this worst ADHD in the world. Can you mention something I want people to be very aware of? And I think they forget this aspect of AI. Is ChatGPT is amazing, but you guys took ChatGPT to a whole new level. Like you mentioned, you took it out and put it in a focused room. You can teach AI. That's when it becomes incredibly valuable. It's like. And let's say, let's go to ChatGPT right now and say, give me the guidelines on first-time home buyer or down payment, whatever it is. And it will scan the entire internet and it's going to give you a broad spec. Like it's almost too broad. Yeah. You guys have literally trained it. Again, you said, hey, this is specifically what we're looking for here. And that's where AI starts to become even more invaluable. It becomes such a piece of technology that we're utilizing. Again, not replacing us. It's helping us. This is how we utilize it. That is a key part to AI and the development of it.
Yeah, and people don't understand how amazing it is. Like it's so funny when we say AI, people are like, oh yeah, I've heard about AI, right? Every single person we've shown it to is just like, oh my gosh, like that would have saved me a deal. And in fact, when we first rolled it out, our first comment when we rolled out on beta, because we've been testing this since December. So our first comment was, you guys just saved my deal. I won an argument with an underwriter and we're going to fund. And so people don't know, like when you have the answers, like when I started in the business, I didn't know anything, right? I was a bartender straight out of college. And so they're like, here's the guidelines. And I literally read every guideline. And now I wonder, would I have done that if I could just ask it every question and get the answer within seconds? And by the way, we've tested this against other AI products. It's faster than anything in the mortgage industry right now. It's faster than Ask Polly, and it's trained on more than just Ask Polly. Ask Polly is Fannie Mae stuff. It's trained on every individual product. The other thing I'm so happy to be on your show because I really wanted to make the wholesale community aware that our next step is going to be to grab all wholesale lenders and bring those wholesale lenders and train, basically ingest the guidelines from wholesale so that as a broker, you could jump in and be like, I have this question, and it can then go find your answer based on which provider you want to go through. So that's going to be a real magic thing where you go in right now, you go in and it says Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA. We're adding USD, I think, in the next couple of weeks. And then I wanted to go, all right, what about UWM? What about, Rocket? And yes, I said those two things right next to each other. What about, and just list off the wholesale lenders and get that stuff trained in there as well. And so, and I need to say this for underwriters listening, because underwriters sometimes get scared of AI, like, but you still need a human. Yes, you absolutely still need a human. This does not replace any humans, because humans need to make that decision based on the guidelines, right? Guidelines are just guidelines. They're not the law. And so an underwriter still needs to look at that and go, okay, I'm reading this and here's how I'm reading this. So interpretation, context, that's still humans. What this does is make humans happier, because the underwriter isn't sitting there saying, yes, you can do a condo on FHA. Like, they're not answering dumb questions. They're able to get better questions sent to them, which means they're not wasting time anymore doing the stuff that they don't even really like anyway. We met with underwriters who have literally a PDF of answers to stupid questions, to common questions. And they just paste the answer in every time they're asked that question. Well, we can eliminate all of that. And that's a nightmare for them. So it doesn't take out people. It simply makes everybody happier, makes jobs easier. And then for loan officers, makes you not have to wait for an answer to be able to get back to your client. You can be like, no, it's right here in the guidelines. I know we can do it. And then if an underwriter has a problem with that, again, use our AI to write that letter to the underwriter saying, Here's the place in the guidelines that you can find it. Please tell me where I'm misreading or what's going on. And so you're using our system to be able to make your argument using the real guidelines.
Well, and bro, both you and I know time is money. And people are thinking, well, it takes me 30 seconds to shoot over a question to the underwriter. Sure, but then there's a back and a forth. Like you said, the underwriter's taking time out of their day. Even if they're going to their PDF and copy and pasting, they had to stop what they're doing, the file that they're working on, to go to copy and paste it, to send it back to you and say, yes, Ken, there is a condominium underwriter or whatever the question is. Like, this is a time saver. We as an industry keep looking for ways to be more efficient. And this is one of those like big pieces, because those add up. Maybe it's 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here, but those start to add up throughout your day for an underwriter, that they're being taken away from being able to work on the files that they need to. So again, there's just so many pieces of this that are absolutely amazing. And we're going to be able to see this in action. You're going to be able to actually show us some pieces of this.
Yeah, our buddy Todd Duncan did a seminar 7 years ago. His seminar of the year was distractions and just how much time distractions actually take. And so if you send that email to an underwriter, or if you're in the Coop and you're asking the underwriter a question inside the Coop, and let's say it takes 30 minutes to get back to you, during that 30 minutes, you're thinking about it and you're going back in and seeing if they've had a response yet. You're waiting. And even if you call and have to wait on hold for any period of time, you're wasting, and now you're distracted. And so you can't get back to the thing that you were doing. So the data supports this, right? The data says once we're distracted, we have a very tough time getting back and going back into it. So just get your answers as fast as you can.
Which that's what's key, is being able to get your answers. If you type it in, it feeds you the answer back. And it's like, okay, great. I've got the answer. I'm going to share this back with my underwriter. So again, we eliminate so much back and forth. You and I, everybody on here, everybody listening today knows when you submit a question to an underwriter, it's at the back of your mind. You want to know, your consumer wants to know, they're waiting on pins and needles. So now you're occupied with that and you can't move on to the next project. As much as you think, it's still at the back of your mind. So again, this is giving us peace of mind. This is giving us, we always be that trusted advisor. We keep talking a lot about being a trusted advisor. This helps us be even better at that and being more efficient in a timeline matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And the funny thing is I've gotten people asking me questions about it and like, how much are you going to charge for this and all that stuff. And we just included a bunch of queries inside of Coop Plus. So rather than adding any fees to it, it's still just $360 for Coop Plus. You just get some AI with it. And that gets you all your CE for the year. And then it gets you 100 hours of training on how to do loans. And then it gets you AI. So we didn't up our prices on this for the individuals. And then our enterprises, we did for enterprise clients, it's just an add-on to get AI inside of your Coop. So yeah, it's, you want me to show it to you?
Yeah, I was going to say, can we see this bad boy in action?
Let me see if I can do it. Hang on. We're going to share screen here.
While Ken is pulling this up, guys, if you have any questions for Ken about this in particular, because I know when it was first shared with me, it blew my mind. We've all seen ChatGPT. Ken mentioned it. We've heard AI. We've heard this and that about it. But this, again, is taking us as mortgage professionals in our industry. It is going to take this to an entirely new level, helping us be more efficient. And I love that Ken mentioned it's not replacing you underwriters. Underwriters, we still need you. Those critical decisions on the back end, this is that's what we need you for. This is helping us with the front end. This is helping us with the monotonous stuff that we can use AI for.
Yeah. All right. Can you see my screen?
No, we cannot see your screen. There we go. Now we see your screen.
Sweet. Okay. So this is Coop Plus. So for those who don't use Coop Plus, literally anybody can go create a login and jump in here for free and get a lot of the stuff that we create for free. So right now you've got a macroeconomic look at the housing market from Noah Blanton. It's pretty incredible. And then I do a Friday update every week in here. We've got a lowdown, which is every week we do a video on what the CFPB is doing or what's happening in there. And again, and all of your courses are in here. So you can get literally all of our podcast videos. There's our friend Ginger Bell we did a podcast interview with. And then title insurance, history of mortgage, conforming letters. So all that stuff is in here. Look at that guy.
Hey,
Look at this guy.
We know that guy.
Marketing for beginners, 20 minutes from our good friend Josh Pitts. So all right, so we just built it in where we already were, engaging with people. So if you click on Coop AI, it's going to open this window for you. Chat history is literally everything I've asked it. So if I asked a question, I'm like, I kind of want to go back to that. I can pop back over and answer any questions or see what the answer was instead of asking it something new. So we have VA, we have FHA, Fannie and Freddie. The reason we separated these out is because we didn't want it getting confused between VA and FHA. So if we asked a question, if we asked an FHA question to the VA tool, we wanted VA to go, yeah, I don't know FHA, dude. You're asking the wrong guy. And that way you're not asking a question, having it go, well, yeah, well, you can do a FHA if you still have your VA entitlement. Like we didn't want to, we wanted to control it as much as we can. So if you go into FHA loans, and this is my favorite question to ask, can you do a loan in a lava zone? And then it's going to give you, so lava zones are in Hawaii, and it's a common thing people actually don't know anything about. And so it's going to give you the answer in a super easy way to read it. And then it's going to give you the relevant guideline source. So it's not going to make you go hunt for where we found it. It just says, yeah, there it is. It was last revised in 23. This section was, and so there you go. So I can say, what documentation do I need for a condo? And it's just asking you, you're asking questions, and then it's just firing back. There you go. But it's not limited to a condominium rider, appraisal completed. And you can actually just keep firing at questions. You can be like, that's really cool. Talk to me more about Form HUD 9992. What is that? And basically this is a conversation. It's not, condo, FHA, condo, disclosures. Like you're just firing back and forth questions. And so it's super easy. I can ask questions about home ready, home possible, like anything I need to know. So you can just sit in here and get all of your feedback. And I can say, can you please write a letter to my underwriter explaining that we can do condo loans? Just something as basic as that. Of course, your underwriter better understand that we can do condo loans.
Right.
And then it thinks, and then it's going to fire you out an answer. So certainly below is a sample, and then it gives you that. Hope this
Holy cow.
well. Yeah.
And you can even be specific. Like you mentioned, some of these where it's asking for documentation, you could literally say, hey, write me a letter to my underwriter with this included in it, or this guideline specifically that she would, or like he or she was questioning me on. Here is the guideline. It will write that letter for you. So then you just copy again. Talk about a time-saving tool. You copy, you paste it, you put it in an email back over to the underwriter, and again, you're off to the races. You guys have literally trained this to make it so simple to be efficient and effective for our consumers. This is amazing, Ken.
It's cool, huh?
It's super cool. So what are, okay, so let me ask you this, because I know some people are probably thinking like, what are our concerns? Like, can it be wrong, Ken? Can AI be wrong?
Oh, AI can be wrong. Usually wrong is as it pertains to context. And so you may ask it a question that it thinks it understands what you're asking, but the way that you asked it, like you use the word broker, right? And when you use the word broker, like how much does it know about mortgage brokers? Does it know that might be different? If you ask it realtor versus real estate agent, if you ask so you need to be careful to just dial it in. And so it's not usually wrong. It's just taking something out of context, which we literally only found one time that it's done that. All the other times it actually hasn't. We haven't seen it fail at all. The trick is we've got to keep it updated. So on our side, we're going and grabbing all of the, everything done by Fannie, Freddie, FHA, and VA right now. We're grabbing every update to make sure that it's always the latest, because we don't want you to ask a question and find out that the answer was from 3 weeks ago, which is funny. Because currently, if you look at any, take FHA, for example, go try searching guidelines inside of FHA's system, which is, by the way, a private company. When you do that, it might not be the latest and greatest of things, right? You might not be getting the most recent. So if we can keep it totally updated, which we do on a weekly basis, we put in all updates, then you're not worried about, oh, that's an old guideline. Because what you don't want to do is reach out to your underwriter and be like, you're actually wrong. Here's where, it's listed. And have your underwriter be like, dude, that was so last year, right? Which I know happens right now. And so we're trying to help so that you don't run into that same problem. So you're getting...
Yeah, that's where it's solving those problems is It's so up to date. I tell people we want to be the mortgage experts, the loan advisors, whatever we keep hearing that more and more in our industry. This allows us to do that with the most up to date. Because again, if we're trying to go find those guidelines, Ken, you and I both done it. And again, nothing against FHA, Fannie, Freddie, they're phenomenal. But at the same time, to go and spend our time trying to dive into guidelines it takes so much of our time. When you can turn to a valuable resource like Coop AI, like, hey, they're regularly, you guys are the experts in it. I tell people, find the tools that help you be more efficient in your day to day. This is one of those tools that helps you be more efficient in your day to day. You don't have to go do the research. The Coop team is doing it for you. It is literally there at your fingertips where it's like, cool, now I just need to ask the right question.
Dude, want to hear something funny? We do this 8-hour class, 8-hour CE class I do live all over the country. And I still do the majority of those classes. And so in the end of our class because you have to teach non-traditional every year. So at the end of the class, we do a competition where you go with your team and you go find 5 things nobody knows about one of these products, FHA, USDA, VA, reverse. And then you come back and you try to like wow the group. So you're trying to come up with something that's really cool that nobody knows about. And so I make them go dig into the guidelines. So we did this in Alaska for the first time this year. And this group came back and was like the best group ever. And so later on that night, we went over and had pizza at one of their houses. And I'm like, how'd you guys win? Like, how'd you do that? And he's like, you want the real story? And I go, yeah. And he goes, we use Coop AI. I'm like, what? Like, I'm so proud of you. They just went into Coop AI and started asking it questions about unique guidelines and came back with all the sources, all the everything, and they crushed it. And it was just such a real world example of, oh yeah, you have a massive advantage using Coop AI over somebody that doesn't. Because somebody that doesn't is Googling 4000.1 and trying to like go find stuff. Whereas just ask the AI, like it's freaking easy. And Randy said, and you sound wicked smart. Be very careful to word it the way you would. So they're not like, who wrote this? You know, it's that email. If I sent that email, somebody would be like, oh, what's Ken using right now? So I would obviously modify it to still be me. But yeah, and Dal, yes, you should worry about your house in Hawaii if it's in the wrong lava zone. But I'm answering comments that are coming through. And Tom, dude, thanks, brother. So yeah, dude, it's so important for us to be fast, and time is money right now, and everybody's looking for efficiencies. And so this is hilarious because for us, we've always sold a compliance tool. And then we started selling the internet, which is more on the sales side. And now we're selling something that can make you money. And so, dude, our sales team is like, wait, we can tell them it's not just about not getting punished. It's about making more money and saving more time. And I'm like, yeah, like finally we get to sell something. People are like, oh, salespeople love this. So it's fun on our side.
It is fun. And again, it not only is it user friendly, but it's one of those tools where we talk about this all the time. And again, with the industry, how things have been a little bit tight. There's been some, for lack of a better term, there's been some concerns in the industry. It's been a difficult last year and a half, 2 years. And even people are saying through 2025, things are going to continue to be tight. Things are going to continue to be difficult. Everybody's wondering what tools are going to help us be more efficient. What tools are going to help us move forward in becoming the new age mortgage advisor that we are becoming. This is one of those. Yeah. This is one of those tools that you truly have in your arsenal, that you have in your quiver, that you have in the toolbox where it's like 100% all day, because this is something we all need. We have to have these guidelines, these resources at our fingertips to be the best of the best. As we've mentioned, that's what makes us and separates us from everybody else, is having those things that truly make us unique and being able to separate ourselves from the best of the best. So Ken, this is so cool, man. It's so exciting. And again, using the world of AI, it's such a big word that everybody hears it and you almost get overwhelmed with it. Oh, okay. Now what do I do with it? How do I actually use it myself? You've taken the guesswork out of it. It's like, hey, the Coop AI is here for you when it comes to all of your mortgage needs, when it comes to guidelines, when it comes to your compliance. We want to stay compliant. We want to stay within these realms. So Ken, you and your team, it's a hats off, man. It's a kudos to you guys, because it is really exciting time for you guys.
When I'll be speaking on stage at Mastermind this year in Vegas. So I got invited to be on the main stage to talk AI. So I'm going to blow up like all kinds of AI stuff at that event. And so if anybody's going to be there, I'll be there talking about what AI is doing, how to best utilize it outside of Coop AI. What are the other pieces that we can use? Josh, you and I have talked about the everybody's trying to do AI right now. And unfortunately, a lot of them are doing it wrong. And so you could end up really messing with people, and just like what sounds like a great idea ends up not being a great idea because AI doesn't think. And so because it doesn't think and because it has no context, it can be dangerous to do something. And I'm sitting on a text that's like 8-9 texts long. I finally threatened him. I threatened to sue him because I kept this AI marketing thing was like, want to come to our free seminar? And I'm like, no, I don't. And it's like, tell us why. And would you like to come to our free seminar? And it's clearly an AI, because as soon as I hit send, AI comes back to me and gives me another answer. And I finally went, hey, if you send me one more text, I'm taking you to court over the do not call laws because you owe me roughly $5,000 in fines right now. And that was they haven't responded, but I'm waiting to see if it does. So somebody signed up for a stupid AI tool that is now abusing a client. So you have to be careful when using AI to use it right, to know that not all new tools are great tools, but the ones that can leverage AI and humans best, those are the ones that win. And just assuming AI is going to come in and solve all your problems, sicking it on your social media, like, go get it, AI, it's just dumb. Right now it's a really bad idea because AI, I asked it some advertising questions. I asked like ChatGPT whether you could do this or that in advertising. It knows the laws and still it gets it wrong because it's trained on too much stuff. It's trained on garbage. And so you just have to be very careful when you're using it, which is why we wanted to put ours in a room and just keep it under control so that it is an actual tool that does good out there in the world.
That is such a great note to end on. So everybody listening, go back and listen to what Ken said these last 2 minutes. The entire conversation has been brilliant, but what Ken just said right there is the key element, and it's what separates Coop AI from the rest. Is if you just keep asking ChatGPT, it has so much. It starts making mistakes. It's trained on everything. Working and partnering with a team like Coop AI and the Knowledge Coop, they have dialed it in. They have a focused area of specific. Again, we tell everybody, have a niche, really focus on certain things, and that's what the Coop AI has exactly done for the mortgage industry. Ken, I am so grateful for you, for your team, for putting this together. I know it's going to simplify for all of our mortgage advisor and friends out there. It's going to help us become better, more efficient, and more effective as an industry. So, bro, cannot thank you enough. This has been an absolutely brilliant conversation. And go check out Ken at Mastermind on the main stage. And if you have questions, reach out. We're going to drop a link for the Coop below. If you guys have questions, if you want to reach out to the team, click on the link below, send them a message, and get all your AI questions answered. Ken, you're the man. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, brother.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. And just download the app, Knowledge Coop Plus. It's in the App Store.
Go download it right now. Give it a thumbs up. Appreciate it. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time for all of you to go shred. Go show up, hustle, repeat every day. See ya.